Welcome to Chair Talks, the podcast of Staff Council at the College of St. Scholastica. I'm your host, Troy Abfolter, and today we're here to talk mail, but also history at St. Scholastica. So we're joined today by Keith Haugen. So Keith, you go by many titles around here. What's your official title at the college?
Mail and Receiving Manager.
All right. And how long have you been at the college?
About a month shy of 33 years.
33 years. All right. So that goes back to the 90s. And what was happening in the mailroom in the 90s? What was maybe different than now?
Oh God. Back then, the majority of everything that came to the college was mail. Actual pieces of mail and letters from home and bills and magazines. And there were very few packages. And we used to have two sorters, be a whole army of students working down there. And then also we didn't have email and all that, so there were a lot of stuffers that went into mailboxes. Every club, every announcement that was going to go out, there were little strips of paper, and we'd be putting in those 3 and 4 times a day into mailboxes.
You just be putting them in the mailboxes?
Yeah, just put them in the mail. That was our, you've got mail. And then as things progressed, and we got email and bill pay and the onset of eBay and Amazon and all these online ordering options. The majority of everything we process now is all packages and delivering and doing that sort of thing as compared to the mail. And we used to get quite a few tubs and trays of mail back in the 90s. And now we basically get one tub that's got a mixture of all the flats and nail pieces, and about that much of it is library mail with the newspapers. And so we don't get a lot to process, but the packages keep us busy.
A lot of packages.
Yeah.
Now, I see you run around campus all the time. I'm sure you put on a few miles over the years. How much of your day are you normally like walking around, moving around, delivering things?
Between myself and a team of students that work with me, we get our share of running around the campus, and I guess the good part about that is that being able to move around the campus, and you get to meet people and all the new people that come in, and you get to catch up with some people that you don't see that often, and you get to kind of keep up with what's happening in various areas.
Yeah, because you're walking around, you're talking to people, you're seeing what's happening on the ground, you're seeing the new folks in, seeing the old folks out, and kind of taking stock. And over 33 years of doing that, you probably have seen some things. Are there any just like really just strange things you've seen over the years? I don't know, a raccoon that broke in and I don't know, took a party hat out of a box and started dancing on a desk. Probably not, but just like strange things you've seen over the years.
Well, when the deer came through, or went through the window in the chapel.
The deer went through the window in the chapel?
Yeah, and they were having to deal with that. I've seen squirrels running up and down the tunnel, and then they catch those and get them out. There's been a few bats that have been flying around the old belfry here.
Well, I also see you oftentimes in the Greenview dining room over the lunch hour. Do you have any fond memories from your times in the Greenview? I mean, I know you've had your fair share of ice cream cones. I've noticed that. I've witnessed that myself. But I'm sure you've seen different staff over the years. You've seen the different configurations of the dining. I'm sure you've had your favorite dishes over the years. But just any fond memories from your time in the Greenview dining room or Saints dining services?
Oh, the memories I have, gosh, there's recent and then there's the old memories. I'll start back with the old memories when Gene Anderson was the lead person down there, or the manager, and you had Jack Teskey, and they did a really good job, and they kept they had stations down there. I really liked that, so you could go and you could tell them what you want and how to choose what you want, your ingredients and how you want it done and how much of this and that. Yeah, I miss that, and then they also used to make a really good tater tot hot dish that I loved.
Yeah.
But now Bruce and Carrie Lynn and the rest of the crew do a really great job too. And you never go hungry. There's always something to eat.
And good conversations.
Yes, that's the part that I've really enjoyed over the years. It's always been, although sometimes it's been larger and smaller, but we've had a table with faculty and staff and get to visit and learn more about what's happening in another building or in another department, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I remember one time I had a thing of spaghetti and I went like this and the plate went flying. I let the students go ahead of me and then I went out, so I pretend like it never happened to me. But anyway, there's lots of memories over there. And then when Gene and Jack and the crew, when they turned it over to Aramark, we used to have trays.
Yeah.
We used to have our food, take our trays. And I still have the tray. I took a tray and I had them sign it, and everyone that was working there at the time signed my tray.
Yeah.
And I've got that sitting in my office right now. I don't know what quite to do with it, but I suppose I'll take it home and eventually someone will toss it out. But it's a good memory every time I look at it.
Yeah. And you've worked with many student employees over the years.
Yeah.
And it's probably fun to see them, move on, graduate, move on.
Yes,
And do you
yes.
still have any sense of what some of these former student employees are up to, or how their lives have unfolded?
Oh yes. I hear from some of them via Christmas card or an email, or even through Facebook, and it's fun to watch how. Well, just like you, I remember when you were a student, it's fun to see how, you got your family and home and all the hobbies that you enjoy with your family.
Yeah.
So it's fun to watch the students when they get here as a freshman and how they develop and mature till they graduate. And there's a process, but then once they leave here, then it's all of life's happenings that go along the way, like grad school and marriage and jobs and children, and it's fun to see. And I ran into just this past spring or summer. Yeah, it was summer when they had an open house. One of my former students was here with her daughter touring the college, and I was like, oh, has it been that long? But it was fun to see her too.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. Well, I'm sure they have many fond memories of the time with you if they're sending you Christmas cards and corresponding with you. I'm sure they had a great experience and enjoyed working in the mailroom. And
I learned a lot from all of them too, and it's a lot of good memories. I wouldn't have stayed here this long if I didn't really enjoy working with the faculty, staff, sisters, the students, and the entire community. So it's been a good run.
Yeah, so we had your retirement party recently, and you're still working, but you're almost gonna retire.
Yeah.
And we did your retirement party, and it was costume themed. There's many pictures of you in various costumes over the years, in particular connected to the appreciation luncheon for employees. I think my favorite was the ship themed year. I don't remember the exact theme, but you were wearing some sort of shark costume, but like I don't remember what that was about. What was that shark costume?
Yeah, I was I was Lovey from the Gilligan's Island, and I was Lovey overboard, and I was swallowed up by a shark. So all you could see was the shark, and the mouth, and then my name tag that said Lovey on it.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite costume that you've came to work in over the years, or for employee celebrations or otherwise? Seems like a disco theme is fair.
Yeah,
I've seen that a few times, right?
I like the 70s and 60s themed parties. And, but over the years, you know, I noticed how more and more people were getting into it. And some of my favorite memories are like that one luncheon, I forget which one it was, but like the health service girls came in dressed as the KISS band, and, you know, career services come bouncing in with a boombox singing 9 to 5 from the 80s. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And those are the things you kind of remember. And
Yeah.
yeah. The sisters have been just great to work with too. When I first started here, the sisters were much more visible because there were a lot of them that were teaching. There were some in administrative jobs, and the sisters that were living over there in the monastery would come over here to do their mail work, you know, to come buy stamps and mail stuff, and there were a lot of them. A lot of them were still dressed at that time in full habit, and they'd come and we got to know them, and they were and it was a good thing. I got to be friends with a lot of the older sisters and have lots of good memories, and so, and of course the newer sisters too, or the younger sisters.
Yeah.
I have lots of good memories with them as well.
Yeah. So lots of fond memories with the sisters, with student employees, with faculty and staff appreciation luncheons, GDR.
Yeah.
You've seen a lot of changes over the years. Are there things that have remained constant, like things that maybe haven't changed physically or otherwise in your time here?
But the only thing that hasn't changed is this front entryway here. Everything else is, well, I take that back. When I first started here, it was in the early 90s, and I remember when this room was painted over the original.
Oh.
The original paint was kind of a green muddle, and really pretty green with it's almost like a gold varnish over it, so it was like a real rich looking. And then they painted it the cream as the rest, and they said, "Why are you doing that?" They wanted to brighten it up. And now what's ironic is now we're restoring the other parlors, and it's like, well, you know, it goes around, comes around.
Yeah, right. It'll be green in a few years.
Yeah.
So here you are, you're preparing to retire and go on to greener pastures, or whatever the saying is. Is there anything you're looking forward to when you'll have more time and not have to be at work, 8 to 5 type thing?
No, I guess I'll just have to decompress for a little while and then figure out my path. But there's plenty of things I'd like to do. Travel around a little bit. I'd like to spend more time outside, especially in the summer, and gardening and doing all the Duluth stuff that's you never get a chance to do when you're working and busy with life. And more hobbies. Just it'll evolve just like it has evolved here.
Yeah. Well, I wish you well on your retirement path, and thank you for the 33 years of service to the college. I know I've always enjoyed our time together, especially our time in the GDRs and hanging out over lunch. So I think I speak for many folks at the college, we wish you well. We thank you for your contributions, and it's been great having you around these 33 years.
It's been great to be here. I'm glad I was able to be here. I'm glad I had the opportunity to be able to be here this long.
Yeah.
So,
is there anything else you wanted to talk about that we didn't touch on?
Probably stuff you don't want to put on there.
That's all for this episode of Chair Talks Podcast. Who's gonna be on the next show? Could be you. Viva St. Scholastic.